So finding a comfortable seat, and it might be that you just uncross your legs, have the legs straight, or find an easy cross if that feels okay. Just find some length through the spine. You might ground through the sit bones, just moving any fleshy parts. Just really find both sit bones onto the floor. And give those shoulders a little roll up, back and down. You might do a few little rolls of shoulders. Get rid of any clunkiness this morning. You might take a little roll of one shoulder forwards, one back, if you can coordinate and get those moving separately. Nice. And then reverse your circles if you've got that. Keep wriggling and moving them. If not, give them a little shake out. Give your hands, wrists a little shake out. Find length in the spine. Let the hands just rest onto the thighs. Crown of head tall. And just close your eyes for a moment. So just take a few moments to go inwards. Just check out how you're feeling this morning. Just noticing the body and any areas of tension. And just noticing the breath. It might be shallow, it might be deep already. Perhaps you can just start to invite the breath a little deeper into the belly. So in through nose, belly rising, filling up. Out through mouth, belly falls back in towards the spine. Inhale, belly rising. Exhale, belly falling. You might take a few just with a little sigh or a bit of force on your exhale so that we can really release and let go. So inhale, belly rises, fills up. Exhale with a bit of a sigh, maybe through pursed lips so we get that whooshing sound on the exhale. So you might just imagine you're blowing bubbles through a straw on that exhale so that we can get a little longer. You might notice that difference as you do so for your exhale. Another way to lengthen our exhale is to hum. So you might literally hum the word hum. So as you inhale, fill up. And as you exhale, just humming hum. And noticing how much longer the exhale can be with the hums or the blowing out. We want to lengthen our exhale to bring us into that calm state, our parasympathetic state. Calm the nervous system. And when we're in our calm state, we're actually in a very ready state. But we can definitely see and feel more, sense more, and be ready without being in that kind of stressed, tensed readiness. Just take a last long exhale here with a hum or a whooshing sound. And just let the breath return to any rhythm. And then just start to round through the spine. Just bring the chin to the chest, tucking yourself into a little bit of a ball. And then as you inhale, lift and look up, opening through the collarbones, opening through the chest. So exhale, round down. Inhale, lift and look up, and just move between the two in your own time. So just find that nice cat-cow seated, enjoying the movement between the two. Trying to let the breath be the guide to move you into the next movement. Inhale to lift, exhale to round. So as you come back to center this time, just slide the ribs across the top of the hips and then slide them back the other way. So just trying to really separate the ribs and the hips from one another. Feeling into that lower back space. Oh, so stiff from being on the sofa for a few days. And then circle the ribs around the hips so we get that nice circling motion. The head might just sort of roll in the opposite direction, so we get that full figure of 8 happening through the whole spine, head, neck, as well as back. And then if you've got the circles, reverse them. If you're wriggling, just wriggle in any direction. The idea just getting that spine to move in every direction possible. Flexion, extension, side flexions and rotations. And then come back to center, just land one hand down, lift the other arm up and over, just find that nice C shape into the spine. So you might really reach that arm as you soften the bottom elbow towards the floor. Breathe into that space between the ribs and the hips. As you inhale, sweep the arm up and over and land it to the other side. Find that long stretch with the top arm, soften the bottom elbow, breathe into the rib space. And then we're just going to bounce between the two, so a little bit of a dynamic side windmilling action. Inhale, exhale. So slow and steady, so we just get that little gentle opening movement on the side bodies. This time as you come up, we'll just take a little twist, one hand to the opposite knee. So lift as you turn, might lift through the crown of the head. Might look behind you if it feels okay to follow with the head and neck too. Maybe just to the side. One more breath here. And gently come back through center, lift and twist to the other side. And then gently back to center. So just roll over those knees, come onto all fours. So you can spread the fingers when you land onto your mats with your hands. Just really ground through the underside of the knuckles. And you might just take a little bit of dipping of the belly, cat-cow here. So lift the collarbone, lift the tailbone, and then press the floor away, round through the spine, tuck the chin to chest as you exhale. So inhale as you lift and open up, exhale as you round and push the floor away. Just moving between the two again in your own time. You might try and find that kind of circular motion, figure of 8 again, or maybe you just want to wriggle and freestyle here again to find movement into the spine in every direction, or in the directions that you feel your spine needs the most today. Always encouraging yourself to just find what your body needs out of every practice, so always here just guiding you. If you feel that you need something different, that is always an option. So just coming back to your neutral center point, and just bring your left hand just in front of the shoulders so there's a little bit of a gap. Peel the right arm up to the sky, take a big inhale as you do so. As you exhale, post that arm through and underneath dynamic eye of the needle. So as we inhale, we're coming back up. Exhale, post it through and underneath for the twist. One more time as we inhale. Lift as we exhale, post it through and pause in your twist here. Really try and shuffle the weight to the right side of the mat, gently pressing to that left hand. Right upper back stretch, we should be feeling it between the shoulder blades perhaps, upper back opening, one more breath. Press into that left hand and come back up to center. So right wrist just in front of the right shoulder, peel the left arm up, take a big inhale. As you exhale, post that arm through and underneath. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, post it through. One more time, inhaling to lift. Exhale, post it through and under, and pause in your twist, just holding there, just pressing into that right hand this time, opening that upper back, especially that left shoulder blade, getting a lovely stretch. One more breath here. And then as you press into that right hand, just come back up to center. So tuck the toes under, start to lift the hips up and back. Keep the knees nice and bent. Press the belly towards the thighs. Drop the head and you're in that nice bent-legged down dog. So really pushing the floor away. Finding length through the spine. So keep the upper back nice and long and then start to straighten the legs. You might just start to lengthen one leg then the other. So we're walking those heels one than the other as we find that little walk in our down dog, straightening and lifting the hips up and back. So just awakening the back of the body, the back of the legs especially. In that first down dog of the day. Head dangling heavy. And then find some stillness in your down dog. So keep pressing the hips up and back and press the floor away with the hands. Head dangling heavy. One more breath here. And then look between the hands, bend the knees. You might walk, step or jump the feet in if you feel ready. Coming towards the top of your mat, the fingertips are on the floor. Long flat back or hands might be just on the lower shins. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, long through the crown of the head. Tuck the belly in gently. Spread the toes. Make sure that there's a gap between each toe. You might lift and separate the heels just a little bit. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, fold it down, let the head dangle. You might just grab opposite elbow here, take a little swing and sway. Just dangling maybe forwards, backwards, letting, again, gravity, just open the back body. Find your breath. And then let the arms dangle down by your sides. Start to walk the hands up the front of the shin. Keep the knees just softly bent, long through the spine as you come up to stand with that nice flat back. And when you get to standing, bring those shoulders up, back and down. So just peel the shoulders back, palms wide. Little gap between each toe, little gap between the heel, big toes close or touching. A little softness in the knees. Squeeze the bottom but lift through the chest. Find that tall mountain pose. Opening through the chest. You might bring the hands behind, just interlacing, opening a little bit more as you stretch the arms behind. If it feels good, squeeze the bottom to push the hips forward, so find a little back bend only if it feels good for you today. Release the back bend, release the hands. Just close the eyes in your mountain pose, tall through the crown of the head. Just grounding through both feet. Just notice how it feels to stand tall. And maybe if you've done lots of sun salutations, you might try and keep your eyes shut for this first one. If you need to, just blink them open. Take a big inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms touch. And as you exhale, dive it forwards, tipping from your hips into forward fold. So just noticing how it feels to move with your eyes shut if that's what you're doing. Just lift to the long flat back, crown of head lifts. And exhale, let the head fall down, forward fold. So you might walk, step, or if you feel ready, jump, but jump landing in chaturanga, or step back to plank, hover down, knees lifted or lowered, elbows in close. Peel the chest back as you lift to cobra or up dog if you feel ready. Press the hips up and back, or hips to heels first, then lift the hips to down dog. So just let the head dangle in your down dog. Maybe your eyes close here if they're not already. Just taking a little moment to come inwards. Feel into the posture. Lift those hips up and back. Soft bending the knees if you need in your down dog. One more breath. Look between the hands, bend the knees. Walk, step or jump those feet in. Come to the halfway lift. Long flat back, exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms wide and up, palms touch overhead. And exhale to release. Good, opening the eyes if you haven't already. One more time, we'll go. Inhale, lift through Namaskar A. Exhale, diving, tipping from your hips, forward fold. Inhale, long, flat back. And exhale, fold, walk, step or jump back to chaturanga or plank, then hover through chaturanga, knees lifted or lowered. You might lift up to up dog if you feel ready this time, and press it back to down dog. Let that head dangle heavy. Find your breath. Maybe noticing pelvic floor pulling in gently. One more breath. And then look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump feet in, come to that halfway lift, long flat back, and exhale, fold. Sweep the arms wide and up, palms touch, and exhale, hands release. Beautiful. Sit the bottom back, find that chair pose, just check your knees are nice and close and you can still see your toes in front of your knees. Tuck that tailbone under, arms might reach forwards or all the way up if they feel okay. We're going to stay for one more breath while we have a little extra stretch to bring those hands behind, open through the chest. Big inhale. As you exhale, release the hands gently and tip forwards into your forward fold. Inhale, long, flat back as you lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Walk, step or jump back. Plank or chaturanga. Hovering down as you exhale. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press it back to down dog. So left foot turns 45 degrees. Bring the right foot through. Give it some help to get there if you need. Press into those feet. Sweep the arms up and sink in to that right knee. Beautiful. Draw the shoulders down, the back of the body. Find your breath. Good. Keep breathing. We're going to stay for another breath here. And as you exhale, frame that front foot and step it back. Hovering down, drop knees if you need to, elbows in close. Peel and lift the chest. Maybe lift the knees as well. Press it back to down dog. Right foot turns 45 degrees. Step the left foot through. Give it some help to get there if you need. Pressing into those feet. Lift the hands overhead. Sinking into that left knee. Beautiful. Draw the shoulders down the back of the body. Reach through the fingertips. One more breath. And as you exhale, frame that front foot and step it back. Hover down, elbows in, brushing past the rib cage. Peel, lift the chest and press it back to down dog. So let that head dangle, catch your breath here, slow it back down. Big inhale, nice side out, let it go. Look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump the feet in, come to that halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Sit that bottom back as you sweep the hands either forwards or all the way up, tuck that tailbone under, long through the spine. You can bring the hands to heart center. We'll take a little twist here. So bring that right elbow to the left knee as you start to twist towards, and maybe bringing the heart to the hands, hand to the heart. You might start to open and twist a little further as you spread the arms if that feels good. Keep those knees in line if you can. One more breath. Drop the head down as you lift the hips. Just let the head dangle in the center. You might hug the backs of the knees, wrapping the arms round. Drawing that chin towards the shins. Giving yourself a big hug. One more breath here. And then sit the bottom back again, release the hands, bring them back to heart center as you find your chair. And twisting to the other side. So it might be just your forearm comes to the outside of the knee, or maybe the elbow comes all the way over. Hands towards the heart center. Spreading the arms if you did on the other side. One more breath. And then drop the head, lift the hips. And this time just walk the feet so they're hip distance apart. Bring the palms of the hands under the soles of the feet. Bend the knees as much as you need to get the hands underneath. Drop the head. And then straighten the legs if there's a little bit of room to do so. So just find that breath here in your forward fold. Big inhales, long exhales. One more breath. So untuck the fingers and toes, just coming up to that flat back halfway. Hands might walk up the legs as you come up. To stand, just step those feet together and roll the shoulders. Nice. So bringing that right foot forwards, left foot just a 3/4 length step back as we find our triangle pose. So just slightly turned in with that left foot, the back foot. And then open the shoulders and the hips to the long edge of your mats and just start to send that left hip backwards, tipping forwards over the right leg. So bringing that right hand down the inside of the right leg, finding our triangle pose. Beautiful. Lovely. So just breathing into triangle here. It might be that you're quite high up the leg, you might slide down if there feels like there's more. Only opening as far as you can on that left side body. One more breath. So use that left arm to lift you back up through centre and just change the cross of the legs. So pivot, so the right foot turns in, left foot points towards the back of the mat, which will now be the front of your mat. Keep everything open to the long edge and send the right hip backwards, tip forwards over that front leg. Stack the arms in line and imagine we're squeezing between two panes of glass, not touching either side. So we keep our hips stacked on top of one another, shoulders stacked on top of one another. Find your breath. Might look down just to relax the head and fix the eye gaze. One more breath. Use that top arm as you come back up and then pivot the feet and just take a big step back in to find your mountain pose at the top of your mats. So this time just take an extra long step back and with that left leg, so keep the right foot forwards, slight turn in of that left foot. And again, keep everything open to the long edge as we sink into warrior two. So bending over that right knee, reach forwards, rest the elbow to the knee, left bicep to left ear extended, side angle. So we might stay here, this might be enough. The Ashtanga variation, this right hand slides behind the front leg. So we might go a little further. If we want a little bit easier option, we can slide the hand down the inside of the front leg. And we keep peeling that left shoulder back. Nice. We might slip that left arm up and over, finding the lower back, or maybe even the thigh for a little half bind. If you want the full bind, that bottom arm's coming up and underneath the knee, finding the hands behind. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Keep lifting that left shoulder back wherever you are, whichever option you're in. Good. So if you've got the bind, just carefully release. Sweep the arms up through centre, straighten that front leg, and then just change the cross of the feet, so the left foot becomes the front foot, right foot slightly turned in, and sink over that left knee, bending into that front leg. Now your left leg, reach forwards over the knee, land the left elbow to the knee, right bicep to right ear first. So then we get our long line for our extended side angle on that right side of the body, maybe sliding the hand down the back or the front of the leg, maybe wrapping that top arm up and behind, finding the lower back, or it might even find the thigh, and then maybe bringing that bottom arm up and under to find the hand behind for the full bind. So keep peeling that right shoulder back, whichever option you're in, keep breathing, beautiful. Might look down to save the neck, one more breath. So release the hands, take a big sweep up, straighten through that left leg, pivot the feet, take a big step back into the front of your mats. And breathe. Got me out of breath. So keep that right foot forwards, left foot just a short step back this time, and keep the hips nice and square to the front edge of our mat. So we're finding our pyramid pose. So hands can come behind, we might just hold at the wrists, the forearms, the elbows. We might take reverse prayer down or reverse prayer up. So options for shoulders depending on how they feel today. Keep those hip bones pressing back evenly as you tip forwards, finding length through the crown of the head. So we might stay at flat back 90 degrees, or we might fold over that front leg, bringing the chin towards the shin in that full forward fold of our pyramid pose. So just try and find the breath again. You might fix the eye gaze on that big toe at the front. And just slow the breath down. Noticing perhaps with each exhale you can just creep the chin towards the front shin a little bit more. Use the breath. One more breath here. Lift through the crown of the head, coming up. And then pivot those feet, just turn to the back of the mat. So left foot becomes your front foot, right foot just slightly turned out. Keep pressing those hips back evenly as you tip forwards. From the crown of the head, finding length through the spine. So we might again stop at halfway, we might keep folding over that front leg. Keep using the breath to help you just come that little bit lower. Chin towards the shin. One more breath. So as you lift through the crown of the head, coming back up, just pivot on those feet again as you gently release the shoulders. I'm going to face you guys, but just release, stepping back into the front of your mats. Give those shoulders a little roll. Might give them a little shake out. So just taking a few shoulder rolls here. So we're going to take the arms up, back and round. So taking them in big circles here, opening through the chest. And then when we come to the top this time, we're going to stop and we're going to take one forwards, one back. So again, coordinating those arm swings, nice. And then reverse your circles, good. Thinking and coordinating, thinking but not thinking too much. And then let those arms just drop. And bring your feet a little bit apart so they're just past hip distance, bend and soften through the knees. So we're going to take some sweeps and swings around. So just tapping each side of the hips as let those arms be bounced round side to side. So soft through the knees as you come to each side. You might even lift the opposite heel as you twist. So you might make the swings really big, so those arms might kind of end up and down motion. I always feel like it's like a fairground ride. I don't know why, for my arms, if that makes any sense. So just nicely, gently, as we start to slow it back down, let the arms be kind of moved by the body. We're not trying to move the arms. So as we slow the hips down side to side, let the arms slow in their own time. And when you come back to centre, just when everything's still, just close the eyes and just tune into how that feels through the body. Hopefully a little energising and awakening. You might just notice some energy moving through the body, through the fingertips, the legs, wherever you may notice, maybe even the face. Good. And then we're going to bring the feet again, this time not as wide, so slightly underneath our hips, a bit more hip distance. Going to take a big inhale, lift the arms, and as you exhale, drop it down. Inhale as you lift, exhale, let go. Inhale up, exhale. You might even tap and sweep your fingertips across the floor gently. Inhale, lift, exhale, letting go. And just keep that rhythm going. If you want to, you can always come up onto tiptoes as you lift and drop. One or two more. And as you come up on the next one, perhaps just let the arms drop, swing. And again, let them come to stillness. You might close the eyes already. Just letting the arms slow back down. And again, just notice where you feel things in your body, what you're feeling. Just tuning in. It's a good way to shift your energy at any point of the day. Loosen off tension. Good. So just taking a wide stance, feet slightly turned in at the toes or at least kind of forwards. So we're going to come to our wide-legged fold. So you might reach the hands round and just place them on the lower back, so fingertips facing down. Peel the chest open, shoulders back, squeeze the elbows towards one another, squeeze the bottom to push the hips forwards. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, tip from the hips and find your forward fold. Let those arms come down in between. They might rest on the floor. You might need a pillow or block or book underneath your hands if you need to find the floor a little bit closer. Draw those elbows towards one another as if they were coming to 90 degrees to draw that head down in the centre of your hands. So find your breath. Really active through the upper back, drawing the head down. Keep breathing. You might just nod the head yes or no, making sure the neck is relaxed. And then just release the hands, interlace them, bring them around the back of the head gently and bring the elbows towards one another. So you're just cupping the base of the skull, just giving a little extra overpressure. Very, very gently. I'm not really putting much weight through the back of the head. The gravity is really doing most of the work here. One more breath here. Release the arms and just walk round towards your right foot, turn the toes out, start to lift the left toes off the floor and bend the right knee. So we're going to come into a little side lunge. So you might actually stay up with your bottom, but if you can and bring the bottom down towards the knee and towards the heel, then you will. So walking over to the other side again, you might keep the hips high, you might just lift the toes, or you might really bend into left knee, coming to that side lunge. So just have a little explore as you walk side to side. It might feel nice to almost take a little twist here as you open up on each side. So walking and exploring what your body needs here. Does it want to open? Is it just enjoying going between the sides? Does it want to stay in a little stretch? Does it want to keep moving? Do you want to work a little harder? Lift the chest and have the hands into the chest and coming into that little ninja squat side to side. So that's our full ninja squats if we want them. Good. So just going wherever your body feels comfortable. And then just come back to centre this time. Just walk the feet in slightly, turn the heels out, place the hands on the knees as you lift the chest. And then just drop the knees wide, so in a bit of a sumo squat. Fingertips facing down. Going to drop the left shoulder forwards and look under the right elbow. Taking a little twist in the upper back. So inhale, lift through centre. Exhale, twist, drop the right shoulder, look under the left elbow. And inhale to centre, exhale, twist. So just twisting each side in your own time. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you twist. Getting a little inner thigh stretch, little upper back twist all at once. Last one to each side. Legs getting a work as well. And then as you come back to centre, release the legs, press them straight. Walk them in just a little bit, keep them nice and wide, have a little wiggle of the hips if you need. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up, and as you exhale, sink the knees wide, sink the elbows wide. So we're in our goddess or our temple pose. Elbows are drawing down and back away from you. Squeeze the shoulder blades to open the chest. Knees wide. So if you need to, you might just take a little wriggle side to side so the legs don't get too lactic acid-y. If you need to drop the hands, if shoulders are sore, just bring elbows, hands to heart centre. They don't need to be lifted. One more breath here. Take a big inhale, reach the arms, release the legs, and then release the hands and let go. So just step the feet into the front of the mat. Give the legs a little shake out if you need. Take an inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch overhead, and as you exhale, dive forwards, tipping from your hips into your fold. Inhale to the long, flat back, crown of head lifts. And exhale, fold. Walk, step or jump back to plank or chaturanga, hovering down from your plank. And then as you land on the floor, come up to cobra or up dog, and then drop your knees down, drop your thighs down, and roll the belly back onto the mats. So we're just going to rest the forehead onto the backs of the hands. Have a little rock of the hips side to side. I'm just going to keep my head lifted so you can hear. So just a little rock of the heels, rock of the hips. And then bring the elbows up and the fingertips just outside of your mat. So fingertips are nice and wide on the floor, elbows are lifted up. So we're going to take a bit of similar motion as we just did in our temple pose, but we're going to take a little striking cobra. So we're going to inhale, lift slightly through the chest. As we exhale, drop the right shoulder, look under the left elbow. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist. So striking cobra, squeeze the bottom gently to protect the lower back. And if you don't want to do this, you might just lay on your front, or you might just lift halfway up in your little cobra or up dog. So make it the last one, lifting through centre, lowering everything down. Bring the elbows wide so that they're at 90 degrees on the floor. Bring your left knee, slide it up towards your left elbow, and bring your right cheek to the floor for our fallen tree pose. So imagine just hugging the floor for a moment, slow the breath down. Allowing the back to rest here. One more breath. So just straighten out that left leg. And this time with the hands a little bit closer in, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. So we're going to lift up into our little cobra or sphinx pose. So bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, press into them. So we're moving the ears away from the shoulders and we're squeezing through the bottom and lifting the belly away from the floor. We could be kind of here, but we want to push the floor away, find length, lift the belly away and squeeze the bottom to protect the lower back. You can always come lower down than this if it's too much. You might stay here, you might walk the hands further out, walking them in a little bit if you want more. Only if backs allow. One more breath wherever you are. And then roll the belly back down, elbows nice and wide again. So slide that right knee up towards the right elbow, left cheek to the floor, fallen tree on the other side. One more breath here. And then just straighten out the legs again. So option just to keep the head on the hands in front again, squeeze through the bottom and lift the heels away from the floor. So we're just squeezing and lifting the lower legs. If you want a little bit more, you might bring the hands interlaced just behind the lower back, straighten and lift the chest, straightening the arms and lift the heels and toes away from the floor. I can't see a thing, the sun is in my face, but that's okay. Beautiful, keep breathing, lifting the chest, lifting the feet away from the floor like an arrow. You might just look down, keeping the neck nice and neutral. One more breath here. So carefully, gently release the arms, release the chest back down to the floor. Bring the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, press the hips up and back. And you might keep those toes tucked for a minute, but round through the spine as you bring the knees together. You can stack the fists, pop the forehead on the fists, and just take a little variation of our child's pose. We start to round the back, toes get a little stretch, feet get a little stretch. And then you might just untuck the toes, lay the tops of the feet down, the head might rest on the floor or still on the backs of the hands, arms just rested overhead, or maybe those fingertips come around and just hold gently onto the heels and let that upper back open, let the shoulder blades separate into our child's pose. So we're nice and rounded through the spine after flexing, after extending it the other way. Just find your breath. Slow it down. And then just start to bring your hands so they're underneath the shoulders, lifting up and coming to kneeling. So we're going to tuck the toes under and again stretch those feet. So you might stay supported or you might sit up and back, really opening the soles of the feet. Take a big inhale, open through the chest, and we're going to wrap that right arm over the left, give ourselves a big hug, or find those eagle arms where we bring the thumb and the fingers together if we can. Lift those elbows up, opening up through the upper back and then rounding down as we exhale. So we're inhaling, lifting the elbows, we might look up, exhale, rounding down, upper back gets that lovely stretch. One more time as we inhale. Exhale, round down, you might pause there, you might even hold the breath at the end of its range, and then inhale, release the arms, give them a little swing, big open stretch, left arm on top of right, and hug or wrap. So you can stay in the hug if that's better, lift the elbows, and then exhale, round the elbows down. If you can, keep those toes tucked under. If they are screaming at you, untuck the feet. Inhale, lift, exhale, round down, a little bit of toe torture in the best possible way, stretching those feet. Don't want our flip-flops causing us any problems. Exhale, round down, just stay there for a little pause. Inhale, release, release the arms. Now you can release the tops of the feet, just tuck them under the other way, tops of feet onto the mats, bring the hands behind, start to press the chest towards the sky, chin might stay tucked in. Nice little back bend, you might let the head roll back. You may even just, if it feels okay through feet and ankles, lift the knees away from the floor to open the tops of the ankles and feet more, or you might just be working on pressing the chest to the sky. Upper back, chest stretch, shoulders stretch. One more breath. Bring the chin to the chest. And then just walk the hands forward. So option to sit your bottom down and sweep your legs round, or if you want to take a few little baby bunny hops, you can. Bigger bunny hops, you might just jump your feet to your hands or through your hands and come to a seated position when you're ready. Lovely. So bring your legs out in front, just again ground through the sit bones, shuffle them out of the way and the fleshy parts, pull the toes back and lift tall through the chest. So we're really long through those legs, really squeezing the top of the thighs to let the hamstrings relax. Lift nice and tall, crown of head tall, hands just rested by the sides, elbows soft if those shoulders feel like they're near the ears. So working our core by simply working and lifting tall. One more breath in our staff pose, Dandasana. Take it, inhale, reach the arms up, let the heels drop down. As you exhale, tip from the hips, let the hands float down, they might just reach the ankles, they might reach over the toes, wherever they are. You might just try to shuffle the belly towards the thighs, long through the crown of the head. Folded at the hips, keep using that breath to just gently draw you in. One more breath here. So carefully just walk your hands back up the legs. So I'm going to take the legs into a little straddle sit. So bringing them as wide as feels comfortable for you. And then just lift the hips and come to the front of the hips if you can. Just tip. Oh no, I'm getting cramp in my butt. That's always fun. So just lifting, finding the front of those sit bones. Lift nice and tall through the chest again and fold from the hips and just creep the fingertips forwards as you find that fold. That nice wide-legged fold this time. Elbows might just start to soften towards the floor. Each breath just allowing us to go that little bit further, keeping the spine long as we fold. Nice, keep breathing. If your elbows reach the floor, you might just prop your chin or your head onto those elbows. Imagine when we're watching TV like a kid. Anyone else used to watch TV like this? I don't think I did, to be fair. One more breath. So gently walk your hands back in and up. So we'll take that right leg, bring the foot to the inside of the left thigh, but keep the leg out at the angle. So slightly different to our Ashtanga variation. Toes pulled back on that left leg, keep the spine long, lift nice and tall through the chest, turn towards that straight leg and fold over. And you might bring that right hand on the outside of the left leg so we start to really square off the shoulders and you can wrap the left hand over the top. So you might be holding on at the ankle or shin, or maybe you can do that with the foot. Keep folding over that leg. So we'll probably feel it in the right side body as a little stretch. Keep trying to ground that right hip, right knee if it's towards the floor. Keep finding your breath. One more breath here. And then gently and carefully as you come back up, take that left hand to the right knee, lift as you twist. Keep grounding through both sit bones. Other way for you, sorry, other to the bent knee. That's it. Keep finding your breath. One more breath. And then as you come back to center, just keep the chest in the center and drop the left shoulder to the left knee, or to the long leg. So we're coming over that long leg. So you might grab hold of the ankle, you might be able to hook onto the big toe with the peace fingers. Lift that right arm up and over, find that nice side bend. This hand might be able to reach all the way over to the toes. It might not, and that's okay. So just allowing that upper body to relax. You can even just hold the back of the head with the top arm if it feels good. Keep trying to soften into that side bend with each exhale here. So gently, carefully sweep that top arm up, release that hand on the bottom leg. So then just change the cross of the legs. So bring that right leg out, left foot to inside thigh. Just make sure you're at the angle. Imagine we're still in that wide-legged fold. So again, ground through the sit bones. So lift nice and tall as you turn towards the straight leg, folding over. Bring that left hand to the outside of the right leg. Swap the hands over so they're crossed, keeping those shoulders nice and square as we fold. Holding along the shin or ankle or around the foot if it's there for us. Keep using that breath. Draw the chin towards the shins, folding, breathing into that left side body. That's probably getting a big stretch. One more breath. So gently, carefully as you come up, bring that right hand to the left knee, lift as you twist. Keep breathing. And then gently as you come back to centre, drop the right shoulder towards the right knee. You might grab hold of the ankle or the shin or hook onto the big toe with the peace fingers, left arm up and over. And that nice side bend and stretch. Use the breath. One more breath here. So gently release that bottom hand as you sweep the top arm back to come to centre. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Bring them in nice and close. And use the thumbs to open the soles of the feet like a book. Lift nice and tall. Draw the knees wide and then fold and tip from the hips. Find that long flat back as you come into your butterfly. So you might use elbows just to gently press the knees that little bit wider. Find those long exhales. One more breath here. So gently as you come back up, just give those feet a little release forwards and a little bit wider than the hips and let the knees roll side to side, windscreen wiper, lower back glute massage, lower back and hip release. So bring that left leg, that left shin as parallel to the front of your mat as you can, and that right foot might just jump into the little knee crease so that we stack our knees in line. So we're in a little bit of a modified half lotus. So if that feels okay to do so, you can always just cross the legs anyhow if you need to. But otherwise, if that foot goes into the knee crease, great. Then we're working on bringing those knees down nice and flat. If they're already quite flat, lift nice and tall through the chest. Creep the hands forward, keep the spine long as you fold at the hips, and then we'll feel a little bit more of a stretch into that right glute if we need to find it. If it's already there, staying exactly where you are. You might stack the fists and let the head rest, or the backs of the hands might do, or even the floor. Feel really folded. Just slowing the breath down and allowing that glute to release. It will be wanting to hold on, so let it release and let go. One more breath. So gently press into the hands, just walk your way back up, or just change the cross of the legs. So bring the right leg underneath the left foot on top, or it might be just behind if that doesn't work so well, or bring it into that knee crease if it can go, stacking those shins in sort of a parallel line, and just start to work on knees, lowering, lift chest. If they're already lowered, fold at the hips, creeping forwards. Coming to rest again, you might use elbows and just prop your chin on the elbows if we want to support the head, or let the head dangle down. Or rest somewhere, maybe a pillow. Use the breath, breathe into the hip. I know it's not possible, but we can. Send the breath there. Using our mind, send the breath to the tight part of the body. Ask it to release and let go. Or at least we'll be able to stay in that slight discomfort if that's what we're feeling. One more breath here. Gently, as you press into the hands, just walk your way back up. And then we'll find our way onto our back. So any way that feels good to you, you might roll down super slowly, or you might just lay yourself down if you feel ready to do that a little bit quicker. But if you want to work a little harder, bring the arms out, roll down super slowly, as controlled as you can. And when you get to the floor, just bring the arms overhead, press the palms away, press the heels away, and take that full body stretch. Hug the right knee into the chest, give it a squeeze in, and just roll it over to the left side, just finding a quicker recline twist here. Just a moment in that twist. Trail the right arm behind you. You might look to that right hand. Just for a moment here. Big inhale, long exhale. Let the back release in the twist. And then roll back to center, landing onto your back. Just lift the hips, lower them, right leg straightens out, left knee hugs into chest. And then pull that left leg over to the right side, trail the left arm behind you, little twist to the other side, looking to the left hand. Enjoy just a moment on each side in your twist. One big inhale, long exhale here. And then roll back to center. And then if there's any other final movements you'd like to take, maybe a little bit of happy baby, or a little few knee hugs or rocks, anything that feels good here. You might circle the knees, you might just want to lie straight onto your back for your Shavasana. So finding any movements to close your practice out now, or if you feel ready, perhaps you just want to lie yourself down. So as always, just lying straight down, or we can bring the feet wide and let the knees drop in towards one another if we want to support the lower back more in a constructive rest. Or another option might be bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop wide, finding reclined butterfly for your version of Shavasana. If you want to, just lying out completely flat, let the heels be in, toes rolling wide. Try and let the whole back of the body land fully onto the mats, and the palms can be faced up and a little bit away from the body, fingertips just gently curling in. Let the shoulders be away from the ears. You might just roll the head side to side, just massaging the base of the skull across the mats as you close the eyes. And then just finding some stillness, allowing the back of the head to be heavy. Allow the eyes to be relaxed, soft through the forehead. The lips may just gently part. Tongue resting very gently across the roof of the mouth. Let the shoulders and the upper back be heavy, supported by the ground. Let the arms, the elbows, the backs of the hands rest fully. No gripping in the hands, just fingertips gently curled. Allow the belly to fill up and rise with your inhale. And fall back gently inwards with the exhale. Hips are held and supported, heavy on the ground. Legs relaxed, rolling outwards. Supported. Toes uncurled. Fully relaxed. Every part of the back of your body that's in contact with the mats is held and supported here. So heavy that perhaps it starts to feel like it is light and floating away. just gently start to bring awareness back into the body. You might wriggle your toes and wriggle your fingers. You might circle your ankles, you might circle your wrists. Might feel good to take a full body stretch, pressing those hands away, pressing the heels away. You can hug the knees into the chest, give them a big squeeze in. And just rolling on to your right hand side, just take a moment curled in a ball. Give yourself a big hug. Gently working your way up to a seated position. You can keep the eyes closed, or you might just keep the head bowed down. We'll just close the practice with a few breaths together and one Om. You might think of it more as a hum to release any tension. So just take a big deep inhale, filling up. Side out, let it go. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhaling to Om. Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a lovely rest of your day and see you all soon.